Welcome to Set Digital Roadshow 2020-21 Year-End Performance Review. This section will run about 45 minutes, including Q&A. Company will start the section by 30-minute presentation, followed by 15-minute Q&A. And during Q&A, investor may leave the question in meeting room chat box or use raise your hand function. Then we will open your microphone so you can ask the question to the company directly. So may I now invite INDORAMA Venture Public Company Limited to start the presentation, please. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Vikash from IVL. Today we are joined by Mr. DK Agarwal, our CEO and CFO, and also the team of IVL, Aradhana, Bourbon, and other members. So, Mr. Agarwal, do you want to do the presentation, or Aradhana should do the presentation first, and we do the Q&A? So, how should we structure it?
Aradhana can do it, and then we can take the question. Yeah.
Okay. Over to you, Aradhana.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. I'll give you a brief overview of IVL, who we are, where we stand today, and then we'll open it up to your specific questions. So IVL is broken up into 3 business segments: combined PET, integrated oxides and derivatives, and fibers. And the one important commonality that you see across our 3 business sectors is that we are touching people's everyday lives with our products. Whether it's the PET resin that goes into your food and beverage packaging, the apparels that go into, the fibers that go into your apparel, the airbags in your car, baby diapers, or the surfactants that go into your detergent and shampoo, we provide 2 critical benefits, and that is of safety and hygiene. And the fact that our products serve end applications that make up the non-discretionary component of your expenditure is one key source of our resilience, which was even further amplified during the COVID pandemic, where we saw the demand for the majority of our products remain steady and in some cases even grow over the last 2 years. Next slide, please. We are proud to say that we have achieved market leadership across each sector that we play in each of our 3 business segments. In combined PET, we are the #1 producer of PET, and today also a leading PET recycler globally. In IOD, we are one of the most prominent names in surfactants, ethylene oxides, and ethoxylation in the Americas, a position that is even further strengthening with our most recent acquisition, Oxiteno, which is set to be closed by the end of this month. I'll speak to more of that later. And on the fiber side, we are leaders in tire reinforcement, automotive safety, in hygiene fibers and nonwovens, and lifestyle polyester fibers. Next slide, please. Our geographic footprint is unique. We are located all over the world across 6 continents and 33 countries with 124 sites. But our model is a regional business model, which makes us truly local in each of the markets that we play in. Our unique local presence allows us to realize profits in these deficit markets that we are present in, and our strong presence in the Western markets further helps us to enjoy premiums above the Asian benchmarks that dictate our industries. IVL has always believed in the strategic advantages that come with our geographic footprint. Local access to customers allows us unmatched service quality. It allows for much more efficient logistics and agility. And probably most important, it gives a structural advantage such as feedstock access. And over the last 2 years, over the pandemic, the advantages of our unique geographic footprint have been even further amplified. The COVID crisis demonstrated to companies around the world the value of our regional supply chains, which is a key source of resilience for IVL. And it also intensified the awareness and the need for more sustainability, which further boosts our competitive advantage of our geographic footprint. Our short supply chains are more sustainable. And these competitive advantages that we have built over the years are not easily imitated. On this slide, you'll see our 3 business segments and the high level of integration within each of the 3 segments, as well as across each of the 3 segments. And this is another major source of competitive advantage. Integration allows us to capture more value chain margin and create significant barriers of entry in the commodity markets. We constantly monitor and expand this advantage, for example, by continuously innovating and expanding into adjacent HVA products. For example, if you take packaging, our packaging business creates demand for our PET resins in new and emerging markets, while also providing us with attractive margins and returns. And our latest acquisition, Oxiteno, which I mentioned earlier, fits right into this picture in the IOD space, strengthening our competitive position and the integration advantage significantly. A combined IOD and Oxiteno also opens up new avenues into attractive, stable downstream applications. All 3 of our business segments today have strong platforms for future growth, and our combined platform has never been stronger. Next slide, please. Now, just a little on each of our 3 segments, starting off with combined PET. What you see here on the slide on the top graph, the dark blue line is IVL's integrated PET spreads, and the dashed dotted line is the industry integrated spreads. And what you'll notice is IVL has consistently achieved premiums over industry over the last few years. This is due to our global footprint and integration into our key feedstock PTA in advantaged geographies. And this helps us to operate more reliably and sustainably over others. Some key drivers are our location in the Western markets, the premium Western markets, which showed higher import parity prices amidst the high freight environment that we're currently in. I also mentioned that over the last 2 years during the pandemic, demand for PET has remained stable, and despite supply chain disruptions and higher energy and acetic acid prices. What you also notice is that in 2022 on the graph, we expect our premium over industry to expand, even though Asia benchmark spreads remain relatively flat. And this is really due to our presence in the Western markets, which constitutes around 2/3 of our combined PET business. And this part of the business will benefit more in 2022 with the reset of our contracts at higher fixed spreads. Next slide, please. Just a little bit on our PET recycling business. We set a target of 750,000 tons in bale input capacity by 2025, and we're well on track to achieving this target. IVL has recently added another milestone by partnering with the French company Carbios to set up an enzymatic recycling facility in France. This is a one-of-a-kind project, and is supported by the French government with subsidies for setting up the facility, and it will open up new avenues for IVL in addition to the PET mechanical recycling that we are today one of the leaders of. IVL over the pandemic has added 9 new sites in mechanical recycling, and this shows our stern commitment to PET recycling, as well as a commitment that we're receiving from brand owners in supporting this initiative. And we're excited for the growth that we see in the recycling business going forward. Next slide, please. Moving on to our IOD business, what you'll see here on the top where it says IOD today, our IOD business today is an integrated business, much more volume and cost focused. With the addition of the new Oxiteno business, which I mentioned is expected to close at the end of this month, we move our portfolio to the right of this scale. We become a more diversified business with more customer-centric, innovative, specialty products, enhancing our proximity to attractive end applications with higher and more stable margins. And what we're developing is a hybrid model between integration and specialty to capture the best of both worlds. As we continue to invest in downstream products, we'll continue to innovate, moving to the right of this scale with more specialized, more innovative products, while at the same time maintaining the integration that we have today. Next slide, please. On this slide, you'll see how our IOD business is broken up between downstream and upstream and intermediate businesses. And you'll notice that the downstream products have maintained stable margins over the years, even through the pandemic. Our upstream and intermediates are part of our integration strategy, serving the IVL group-wide captive demand. And our upstream and intermediates integration is needed for reliable captive supply and to capture a broader value chain margin. Next slide, please. Moving on to our third segment, fibers. Our fibers business is broken into three key verticals: mobility, lifestyle, and hygiene, and each of which operate as autonomous market-leading global businesses. 1 in 4 airbags across the world today is made using IVL airbag yarns. 1 in 2 premium diapers around the world is made from our non-wovens or fibers. And we lead the polyester fiber market in key geographies in lifestyle around the world. What's common across our three verticals is that we are touching people's everyday lives in critical situations. Our products provide safety, enable performance, and can be relied upon. And what's also common is that they are all backed by robust megatrends. For mobility, the installed worldwide car universe continues to grow while the focus on safety intensifies. And this, for example, the number of airbags required in each car continues to grow. And as we see EVs becoming more mainstream, this will continue to grow even further. In lifestyle vertical, population growth and the rising global middle class means an ever-increasing need for our products. And in the hygiene vertical, beyond population growth and the rising middle class, an increasing awareness for hygiene, for comfort and well-being drives demand. And you can imagine that during COVID, this was a big driving force. And as for customers, it's the quality of our products, our R&D strength, and the service levels that we can provide as suppliers everywhere in the world that have won us a trusted tier 1 customers across the three verticals. Next slide, please. Speaking to sustainability as a whole, IVL has been widely recognized for our sustainability ambitions and our sustainability achievements. And you can see some of the recognition here on this slide. We also have strong 2025 sustainability targets as well as 2030 targets. And some notable initiatives in 2021 is a total of $1.3 billion in diversified sustainable financing, as well as the launch of what we call our Dacia carbon neutral PET pellet, which was a first in the industry and something that was very well appreciated by our customers, helping them to reduce their Scope 3 emissions. We also have a very strong decarbonization roadmap along 4 key strategies. The first is operational eco-efficiency and reducing our Scope 1 emissions by upgrading inefficiencies at our existing sites. Secondly, enhancing renewable energy consumption and reducing our Scope 2 emissions. The third is phase out of coal across all of our sites, either switching to natural gas or biomass, depending on the geography. And then the fourth is the implementation of new technologies such as carbon capture and green hydrogen. In fact, we're looking at a green hydrogen project in Portugal at the moment through partnerships and available subsidies. Next slide, please. Project Olympus is our company-wide cost and business transformation program, which we launched at the end of 2019 with the aim of achieving $610 million in efficiency gains by 2023. Over the last 2 years, we have over-delivered on our targets, and this has reinforced the confidence of our management and motivated them to dig even deeper and find internal projects for higher efficiency gains. And we have therefore increased our ambition to over $650 million in efficiency gains by 2024. The efficiency gains are built up in the KPIs of the managers, and they're motivated and rewarded on the successful delivery of Project Olympus. And the beauty of this transformation project is its pan-diversity across businesses, across geographies. You can see on the right-hand side, across initiatives and functions, with over 2,400 internal projects and initiatives making up Project Olympus. And this diversity reduces the delivery risk of this program. Next slide, please. Just to give you a snapshot on our a financial snapshot, our credit profile improved in 2021 with the upgrade of our TRIS outlook. Our underlying cash flow generation was strong. However, we did have $848 million in working capital outflow, though we were able to reduce debt and lowered our gearing ratio by 20 basis points. We've also we also have liquidity of $2 billion in the form of cash and cash under management and unutilized credit lines. And we've also put together a risk management function, corporate risk management function that deeply looks at measures such as hedging and insurance and business continuity to make sure that there's focus on these initiatives. Next slide, please. This slide gives you an evolution of our net debt to equity ratio over the last quarters. You'll notice that at the end of this quarter, with the addition of Oxiteno, our net debt to equity ratio goes up to 1.4, and then thereafter expected to further deleverage through the year and after. And what you notice in this chart is that we maintain strong discipline on our balance sheet and our capital. Next slide, please. So after a challenging 2020, in 2021, we have not only recovered, but delivered a record year for IVL with almost $1.8 billion in EBITDA and strong double-digit ROCE. This is not only driven by market recovery that IVL has been able to capture, but also the result of investing into our fundamentals and delivering on Project Olympus with $290 million in run rate savings. In 2024, in addition to further normalization of key markets, our strategic investments into the future will deliver an expected $2.8 to $3 billion in EBITDA and in excess of 15% ROCE by 2024. And this is driven by executing on our key strategic thrusts, which include integration advantage to capture value chain margins across the group, sustainability transformation of the industry in all of our 3 business segments, leveraging on our growth platforms, strengthening our fundamentals and cost position with Project Olympus, and the continual investment in our people and in our systems. Next slide, please. This last Capital Markets Day on Feb 10th, we also released our new purpose statement as well as our vision 2030. And you'll see in the center of the slide our new purpose statement, reimagining chemistry together to create a better world. And this really sums up the DNA of IVL and will inform our path forward. And Vision 2030 is based along the 3 pillars that you see here. The first, innovative and sustainable products. This is about reimagining our products for value, for performance, and environment. And over here we have the ambition of changing our feedstock mix so that by 2030, about 1/3 of our feedstock comes from either renewable or recycled sources, whether that's recycled PET or biomass. The second pillar is decarbonization, and I spoke to you earlier about the 4 strategies that we are embarking on in order to decarbonize our operations. And then the third is a future-ready organization, future-proofing our organization and leveraging on the new ways of working and investing in systems such as the One ERP implementation that we're currently embarking on through the organization and other digital tools in order to make sure that the next generation of leaders are armed with leading our businesses. Next slide, please. And just to end, to leave you with some key messages. IVL today is a highly integrated world-class chemical company. We serve attractive and resilient end markets. We are recognized for leading the industry's sustainability drive. And as you can see from Vision 2030, we'll be making further substantial investments into circularity. Project Olympus delivery is ahead of plan, and we have further strengthened our core due to Olympus, and will continue to reap the benefits and efficiency gains coming from Olympus. We continue to invest in our platform, our people, and our systems. And with this, we are well set to continue our growth trajectory to 15+% ROCE by 2024. Thank you. And with that, we open it up to questions.
Mr. Agarwal, so we have done our Capital Markets Day on 10th of February, and it's already 1 month after. We don't see any need to change our estimates or plan for 2022. So that gives a lot of confidence in our plan. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Okay, the section has come to an end. So on behalf of the Stock Exchange of Thailand, I would like to thank you, investor and corporate IVL, for joining the conference. We look forward to welcome you all again. Thank you very much and have a good day. ขอบคุณนะคะ
Bye.
Thank you.